It looks like we're going to be talking about Will Smith slapping Chris Rock all week as new developments continue to come out. We've heard Will's apology as well as a statement coming from Will's mother. Chris Rock's younger brother, who is also a stand-up comedian, Jordan Rock, also chimed in. Jordan would call out Smith for slapping his brother at the Oscars via his Instagram story, saying it's on site for Will Smith now for punching Chrissy and remaking Fresh Prince. Now, since posting the story has been deleted, but Chris Rock's other brother, Tony Rock, has remained silent so far. Today we have our Comedy Hype analysts, Vanessa Fraction, Capone, and Pierre, along with very special guest, Rashawn Khan, to give their reaction on these new developments. Now, I want to dive right into your reactions on the new statement from Chris Rock's brother. So, Pierre, I'll start with you. What are your thoughts after seeing and hearing from Chris Rock's brother?
I expected, family is thick. Now, you smacking people in my family, I got to stand up and speak up for it. Now, him doing the joke about making a remake. So I don't know how real that statement was. Was it just playing with him or was it serious? I would have, it would have been serious for me if I would have felt that way to say that, but, we don't know.
Absolutely. Now, Rashawn, thank you so much for joining us today. But I want to get your thoughts as well. After seeing Chris Rock's brother, take a stance on his Instagram story. What are your thoughts?
He should take the stance that he take. It's family, and so those of us that really understand family, you stick with your family and you work it out. So yes, I can appreciate him saying that, but it was nonsense, though.
Right.
And so all of us, the black people, are pulled into this nonsense. We want to sort it out because we love both of them, but it's nonsense.
Absolutely, and I think we'll dive into that a little bit more. Vanessa, I want you to chime in on this as well. What are your reactions to seeing his Instagram story?
I thought it's what any brother would do. It was kind of funny, honestly, because he hit him with the Chrissy, like the family name type situation, and even doing that Bel-Air thing or whatever, as the doubling down on you keep effing up or whatever.
Right.
But I expected a response. I liked kind of the fact that he took it on a lighter note, because at first I thought when he was like on site, I thought he was like, I'm like Jordan,
right.
whatever. So I did expect a response. That was my feeling on it.
Absolutely. Now, Capone, I'll bring you in as well. What are your thoughts after seeing Jordan Rock's response on Instagram story?
As a person such as myself, I don't think people should talk about what they're going to do. If it's on site, then it's on site. You don't need to broadcast it. That's why I think it was sort of a joke, especially after making a Fresh Prince. I don't think they want that type of smoke, period.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I think a big topic, and I want to be very in our community and just in people in general that we're hearing is like this notion that Will Smith kind of are making black people look bad as a whole. So, Pierre, I'll start with you. What are your thoughts? Do you think, about Will Smith going on stage on that platform at the Oscars to slap Chris Rock, do you think that makes black people look bad?
Well, who you asking? You're asking black people to make black people look bad to other black people? Not necessarily, because we see a lot of good in black people. We saw that was a bad situation, but we seen enough good in our community to not trip on that. Now, do white folks look at us bad? Yeah, it may look bad maybe in white folks' eyes, across the nation, across the world. Maybe they thought, man, look, black people just, or black men especially are aggressive. They don't know how to handle confrontation. They don't know how to keep their emotions locked. But we as black people, we know that we can handle that. We've seen it enough around us. So it didn't make me feel bad as a black person saying, well, I understood it. But outside of us, white folks, I think they probably thought it definitely made us look bad.
Vanessa, I want to bring you in on this. What are your thoughts? It's a big conversation. A lot of people, are feeling the way. Even if you go in the comments, you see people kind of commenting on it. So I want to get your thoughts. What are your thoughts? Do you think, he makes black people look bad by doing that?
I think it's who you ask, as Pierre said, in a sense. To me, in a way, I didn't look at it. I know I might get creamed for this, but I didn't look at it as a black man hitting another black man. I just saw a guy that was pissed off about what was said or whatever, and had enough in general, and had just went up and slapped someone else. I wasn't necessarily looking at it as, I didn't feel like it hit on me as an African American or as a black person, or however we title ourselves. I can see why you would say that,
right.
But Will Smith has never come off aggressive to me, and that might, and neither has Chris Rock. which a lot of times when we have these type of conversations lends to some of their success, if you will.
Right.
So no, I didn't really look at it in that way of like, oh, we gotta be scared of black folks, you just set us back, you know,
Right.
or whatever. I feel like an individual had an emotional moment and behaved in a way that was inappropriate as well as out of character.
Absolutely. Now, Rashawn, I want to bring you in on that as well. What are your thoughts? Do you think by Will Smith, you know, taking the action that he's making black people or us
First
look
of
bad?
all, no, his action doesn't make black people look bad because look at the sister that's running the Supreme Court. So that makes black people look good. So we can't say, and if that was the case, then look at how they could play it. If they could get these two brothers over here to act this out, say for $50 million that we don't know about, and it makes all of us feel bad, they win. So no, that doesn't. It was just, and I'm not buying Will was so emotional. And you walk from here to there, you're thinking about what you're doing. Then you walk back. If you was what we call mad, not emotional. You mad, you slapped. I would have liked to have seen him knock Chris Rock out. Now you mean the shit. And then leave the fucking Oscars. Fuck the Oscar and the statue and all that. Now we got a problem.
Damn.
Now we got a problem. That shit's serious. And it might spill into the streets. That's serious.
Right.
That shit looks staged. Fat Joe shot me 3 times with a shotgun. I fell down 2 flights of stairs. I'm not dead. It was staged. So this brother was pissed off after laughing at the joke. He laughed. And somebody said something. Damn. That's how your woman gets you hurt without understanding. Man can't be emotional in a situation like that. That's thinking time. That's what am I going to do time. Or as we said coming up, it's not the time to be acting like a bitch. That's what that was. Whatever was said. Your woman that's really with you, she going to check you. No, this ain't the time. There's the after party, there's backstage, there's a lot of different places. But not here. Don't fuck with what we got. Don't fuck with the kingdom doing something dumb like that. Real woman. But if it's push and you standing like, yeah, that's bullshit. That's somebody that, in my opinion, that's really jealous of you. I'm a C plus and you a A. What's the problem? And I thought the joke was 50-50. It fell flat, but some people laughed at it. And this is what we're not saying. If there was a producer that would say, yeah, I got 20 million, you know, that's a good idea. G.I. Jane 2 with Jada, but the money's there. She would have said yes. Hair and everything. As a matter of fact, I ain't got to shave my head. It's already, I'm ready. So that's nonsense. That's what I would call that black privilege.
Right.
You do that type of stuff. That's black privilege.
I think
You
that's
see no security. No security. Nobody. Puffy was the security. He was the peacemaker. Puffy. That's nonsense. Oh.
I think that's an interesting perspective, and I definitely want to get you guys' thoughts on it. But before we do that, Capone, I want you to be able to chime in as well. Do you think, by Will Smith, getting up to go on stage to slap Chris Rock, that makes us look bad as black people?
Will Smith nor Chris Rock represents all black people. It was an incident that happened, and we have enough black people setting us back without trying to point the finger at them too. So no, he didn't. They didn't. The incident didn't. It's just a shocker, and it's amazing at the platform that it happens as. And it wouldn't be as surprising if it happened at the BET Awards, because that's what they look for us to do. So being that it's the Oscar, the premiere stage, now everybody's talking about the actions of it. No, I don't think it set us back.
Now, Pierre, I kind of heard some of your comments, and I know some of what Rashawn said kind of reflects what you said yesterday on the show, just about, just a lot of things that are complicated within it. But I want to get your thoughts. Is there anything that you want to add or comment? Just because I know I heard you over there.
In all due respect to Mr. Khan, you said it might have been staged. I don't know any black man, even Chris Rock, would want to be slapped in public as a joke. Now, you might say the money is the root of it. I don't know if Chris Rock needs more money to go put himself in that scenario. Because in the black community, being spit on, being slapped, those are like two of the biggest things that we don't play. And I don't know why somebody would play that joke on international TV as a joke for some money. I don't know if it was staged. I believe it was real. Just my personal
No, I'm not saying it wasn't real. It looked staged. And then when I heard the profanity, because you know, live shows, they can mute it. You didn't have to hear him saying, take my wife, don't mention my wife, keep it out. You know,
right.
All that could have been muted out. So that was to add to the drama.
Sure.
I really was disappointed to the brother that played Muhammad Ali. That was as hard as he could slap. I really was. Just saying, you ain't even break the skin. Spit a little blood out for me. Really show me. That's why I'm saying, hit his ass if you're going to hit him. But that's why I was like, that was the hit. Did Muhammad Ali work out on the bag? That's it. Oh, okay.
Now, Vanessa, I'll come to you as well if there's anything that you want to comment or kind of add to that.
Just a little. As far as the hit, I thought that he purposely did the open hand, excuse my words, the bitch slap, if you will. I'm not trying to draw blood. I'm trying to let you know that you dishonored me and damn near like that gentleman's duel slap. You know what I'm saying, or what have you. I take my gloves off, sir. You know, you don't talk to my woman in such a way, you know what I mean, or what have you. I didn't know how I felt at first when he said that's how your woman gets you into trouble, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, because, you know.
What he said, his emotion.
I get you. I totally feel you. And also, I liked when you followed up with the, but not here though. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, when you, because as you know, you want to be that good helpmeet and you want to counsel in that appropriate way where, yes, I'm offended. Yes, I would like you to stand up for me. And yes, I would like you, so I don't have to keep dealing with these type of emotional hits to me. You know what I'm saying? But there's a time and a place for everything. There's a time and a place to handle this situation. And so, you know, as we've all said before, like it was very shocking. And I think that's why, too, the audio went out, yeah, especially in other countries, but then we tried to bleep it out here, you know, that can be theatrics as well, but, because then you're going to search on, what did he really say? You know what I mean? It all becomes a moment, and it all becomes, honestly, if you will, a win for the Oscars, no matter what, because now it's like, oh, let's see what's going to happen next year, or how is it, blah, 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 blah. So, I'm just taking it as one angle as, it became much more exciting. The ratings were much higher than they were previous because of the shenanigans. Sure.
Absolutely.
I got this question, and this is to you black women.
Oh, Lord.
If you knew the sincerity of this situation, sitting there with your man about to make a very, very dumb decision, would you have stopped him and say, hey, babe, this is not the place? Ain't nobody is not looking at Jada as she sat there and let this man humiliate himself.
Did she know what he
Any black woman that's about to see their man get into some type of altercation, whether it's in the street, whether it's in the Oscars, whether it's in the gym, you see the woman say, look, let's not do this because of what the consequences might be. And that was not taken into consideration at all.
Now, Rashawn, I want to come to you, but I want to give Vanessa
I agree that, and I myself, and I'm sure many black women or women in general have had to be that helpmeet, as you will, and be that ear of reason and say, hey, whoa, not right here. I don't know that she knew what he was going to do. I don't know that I don't know if Will knew what he was going to do. You know what I mean? I think it was just a movement in that action. But I do agree that there are those moments where you do say, hey, I get what's going on. I get what you want to do. I want you to hold on a minute, but I will say, as men are, you are your own man. And if you feel like this is what I want to do in this moment, there's been plenty of times where my man has said, hey, don't get in the way of me and what I feel like I need to do, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, and I'll talk to you about it later then.
Right.
And say like, hey, next time, maybe blah, blah, blah. But when someone has something on their mind, I mean, that's a...
Yeah, no, and I want to respond to that as well. I mean, I've definitely been in situations where I've kind of had to step in and say like, hey, babe, not here, or hey, babe, let's not do this or do that. I would like to see maybe what the camera angle was on what Jada did do. Because if I am at an event, you know, I'm not going to make a scene and be like, hey, you know, I'll probably try to grab him or touch him or just kind of let him know. So I would be very interested to see, you know, what that camera angle looked like on Jada before Will got up to go up there. Because when I saw him walking, and I think even the crowd or the way Chris responded, nobody kind of understood what was going to happen. But no, Capone, to answer your question, as a Black woman, especially knowing the sensitivity of Black men and just what we experience on a day-to-day basis, I would step in to say, hey, babe, not here, not now. Let's talk about it and you know, find another way. But Rashawn, I want to make sure I come back to you and give you a chance to respond to some of the things that were said, because I know you made some comments, but then, you know, Capone asked a great question. So I want to come back to you just to get your thoughts on.
What Capone said, I agree with. That's where the balance is supposed to come in. And emotions in situations like that will never serve a man right, because you're moving on emotion. That's not a situation. You don't fight someone on emotion. You're either a protector, you're trying to get out of a situation, but it's not on emotion. Yes, you can go that way. Yes, you can talk about how you feel. That's after the fact. But it has to be clear in battle what you're doing. Either I'm going to get hurt or I'm going to hurt someone. Real clear. It's not an emotional thing. You're in the fight. It's already happening. So this is not the time to be like, why am I doing this or I'm doing this? But that's that's where you get hurt at. So even though it was real to me, we seen it happen, there's places that Will knew he wouldn't have done that. And they could have said way more crazier things. He'd have got up and left, which would have been the smart thing to do. Just leave. You don't have to be here. I'm adding to what's going on here by being here with my wife. This is how you're going to talk to her? You leave and just take the air out of the room when you leave. That's all.
I agree.
That's your power.
Yeah.
Now use your power the right way. We can get that from the streets. And not saying anything about the streets, but the streets don't know. So until I do know, here's what I'm going to do if you fuck with me. But when I do know, that's not necessary. I'm not going to let that stop me from what I'm doing, because you're going to get a lot of that. If I can get you to hit me in the street, I can sue you for a year's salary. If you knock me down and hurt me, I can have you sent to jail. Right. So you lose at the end. It's not the time to be emotional, especially like that on display.
Absolutely, and I think Chris Rock, definitely did him a favor by not pressing charges. But Pierre, I want to come to you to let you add in a comment, but also just ask.
Excuse me, about not pressing charges.
Yeah.
The state of California can press charges.
Absolutely, yes. Right. That's true. That's true. Now, Pierre, I want you to chime in there, but I want you to also answer the question. Excuse me. What do you think should happen next? But I want you to chime in and then.
Okay. Just real quick. Okay, see how you two guys are sitting there? You could not stop Rashawn from getting up right now. I don't care if that's your husband right now. You could not. If he came off that thing, went forward. You got to go around the table, come up. That ain't gonna happen. Okay, so the stuff y'all talking about normally is when two people, a husband and wife, are arguing with somebody else, and she's right there with him. She can grab his arm right next to him. But the distance y'all have, let's be honest, she was far away from him, so he got up. She would have to run behind him, get around that, and run behind him. So it's a different thing. All right, so let's move on. So that thing for Jada, I don't think Jada did what she had to do. She sat there and didn't probably know what was happening. All right. What should happen? What should happen? I would like for them to both do a public apology together. I mean, well, not public, both of them, but just get together and speak it out on social media or whatever together. Because we are very forgiving people, as Black folks. We forgive. Look what we've done in society as far as slavery, and so we dynamically forgive white folks for that, as far as not doing stuff to them on a daily basis. But I like to see them get together and apologize so we can move on. It was a bad moment. Yes, that man has mental problems, or however you want to call it. He exploded at the last second. A lot of pent up frustration. Yeah, he might need to see a therapist or sit down and say, "Hey, man, we don't do that. We don't do that. Even no matter how bad you feel, we don't do that." And I get it. It's easier said than done. But with therapy or something, maybe he realizes that, you know what, I can hold back the next moment. So that's my say.
Well, Rashawn, you wanna chime in?
No,
respond to that?
I hear what he's saying about therapy, and I know quite a few brothers go to therapists, and therapists make a lot of money stringing that shit out.
Right.
And that's what it is. They will never be able to explain to you when you was growing up why it was like that when you was growing up. That's done already. But now you in this place where you making this crazy money, and you're kind of interesting. So let's just keep talking about it. In some kind of way, you calm yourself. Therapist is not calming you. You have someone. They used to call them years ago grandmothers, not therapists. Go to your grandmother. And the reason it was a grandmother that calmed you, or an auntie or whoever, an elder, because it was someone that knew you. The therapists don't know you. They know the things to say to you, but the person, here's why you act like that. You need to calm yourself down. This is somebody that knows you. So on the money level, you go to the therapist. That's what you go to.
Now, I don't know if I fully agree. As someone that does go to therapy, there are a lot of
benefits.
Yeah, benefits that I get from therapy, especially because they don't know me. I think sometimes in our community we mix up a therapist and a psychiatrist. Because so many times when you get therapy,
welcoming ear and that ear of advice. My grandmother is very important to me.
Right.
And Lord rest all of my grandmothers. I don't have any more. But just that person that knows you, knows your spirit, know where you come from, and can kind of help you to understand some of the emotions that you have because they knew your parent or what have you, and they know some of the family things that go on. But as Symphony is saying, that outside person that is not complacent in any of the things that are going on and don't know you at all, and can actually ask you the right questions. As you said, though, you are the answer to all of your issues.
You cannot solve black problems with white thinking.
It does. My therapist is black, but regardless to that, I'm saying that sometimes it's about asking the right questions so that you can be the solution to your own issue. They don't know how to help you. It's just sometimes they have the skills and the research and the experience to ask you the right questions for you to get your own answers and for you to be able to complete your journey. And so I find that therapists are very, very helpful in that.
Asking your family for help, they be like, nigga, I don't want to hear that shit no more. You always talk about it. Your family doesn't always there for you to listen to you. They're like, nigga, I got problems too, nigga. I don't want to hear this shit you're going through. Come on, let's be real. A lot of families like that. You tell your aunt, your cousin, your brother 1 or 2 times about your problem. By the 3rd time, they don't want to hear that shit no more.
I know this is a big topic. This is a big topic. I think we can create a whole other show for that to be a topic, because I do think that talking about therapy should be something that we discuss. But I do want to bring in Capone as well. Capone, what are your thoughts, and also what do you think should happen next as we move forward?
I wrote a post today, and it says, you can choose what you want to do, but you can't choose the consequences of what you do. In other words, basically, a lot of us people think backwards. We always do things and then think about the consequences later. But if you think about the consequences before you do it, then you'll make wiser decisions. And that was the problem is that you get every type of anything, even Nike, just do it, or, just go for it, or give it a shot. No, you have to think things through. And as Pierre said, his woman couldn't snatch him. That was a long way to walk to that stage. And she could have said, hey, Will, chill, do something or whatever. She didn't. She sat back, and that was that. Not to say that it was her fault, but there are things that could have been done through that long walk. Whether you knew he was going to smack him or not, you knew he wasn't going up there to talk to him. So I say, whatever it is that's going to be done to make it right, just do it. Because the fact of us sitting here trying to say, well, this should be done, that should be done, we don't know what should be done until it's done. Bottom line.
I want you to comment on that as well. What do you think should happen next as we move forward? Or what would you want to see?
I'm not sure. I like the fact that both people are taking responsibility for their actions. I don't know what Chris's response has been, so I don't know that he feels any way about it. I've heard all kinds of things in terms of how bad the joke was. Should you have told it? If he knew? What if he knew? That kind of thing. So I'm not sure. It is a moment where I do want us to move on. I was hearing what Capone was saying about thinking about your consequences, and there comes a point when you are, and I get when we say protect someone, she was not in imminent danger. There was not a reason, you know what I'm saying? And as Mr. Khan has said, in forms of protection, it's because you're stopping someone from hurting someone or something in that space.
Right.
I think that it was more of an emotional thing of I want to stop the pain, whatever it was. I can't get into someone's mind.
Right.
But I think when it comes to consequences, when it comes to someone like Will, if I'm him, what is your consequence for me? If I get up here and slap somebody, what's my you know what I'm saying, or
Right.
whatever? Yeah, I could go to jail. Yeah, I could whatever. But it wasn't like I beat him up. I didn't, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't affected in a way that he couldn't move on from that one moment. It was again an open hand slap. I
Right.
think it was thought out that I'm not going to punch this person because then it becomes assault. Not that I know all the laws, but but it might have been a thought out thing of I just want to show you I'm tired of the disrespect. And as it's been said before, it might not have just been him. Maybe he wanted to do it on a national stage in the sense of I'm tired of all the disrespect. You know what I mean?
Right,
And this slap is to whatever it was. I'm not saying it was correct or the right thing to do.
Right.
That's
This one is
that's tough.
definitely a loaded conversation. As you mentioned, you know, these are conversations that's not just happening here, but in our own relationships and stuff like that. But I appreciate you all for chiming in and giving your thoughts and opinions. And on this, you heard from us. Now we want to hear from you in the comments below. What are your thoughts about the new developments from Will Smith getting up to hit Chris Rock? For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson.
What's up? I'm Terrence Sims. For years, you come to us to get the latest news in comedy and for your favorite comedians. Now, you can come to us for even more news in the world of sports, music, and pop culture. We're bringing you some of our classic shows you love, like Unforgotten, the Comedy Hype News Show, and more one-on-one interviews. We're more than just laughs, we're the culture, the leader in truth. And well, your streamer got a little more blacker. Welcome to Hype Plus.